I'm Michael Christensen, and today I am doing the Writers Are Weird tag by Elliot Brooks. I've been a fan of this tag for a while, but I didn't really get a lot of chances to throw tags into my schedule. Last year, I had a lot of videos I wanted to get done. This year, I am making sure that I am leaving myself some room to add tags and do them a little bit more often. Let's get started. Question 1. Do you have bizarre internet searches? If so, what's the weirdest one? Not really. I don't think of myself as writing anything that requires that level of Googling, really. I look up places, looking up things about cities that things might take place in, but because I'm not writing murder mysteries or things like that, I don't really need to look up a lot of the weird stuff that people tend to Google when they're writing that kind of story. I don't have to Google any state laws or how long it takes for a body to decompose or any of that stuff. At least right now, based on the stuff I'm currently writing. My searches might get weirder someday down the line, but not right now. Fortunately, everything's pretty above board. Question 2. Do you write people you know and dislike into your story as villains or as dumb people to kill off? No, not really. I do have a sign outside my door where I write that says, warning, novelist at work, bystanders will be written into the story, but I don't actually do that. Also, my dad gave me a shirt a while back that said, be careful or you'll end up in my screenplay. But he had to give me 2 because the first one had a typo. It just said, be careful or you'll end in my screenplay, which is much more ominous. But no, it's not something that I actually do in real life. Number 3, does personal hygiene sometimes come second to writing? No, hygiene is a pretty big thing for me. I've only had a few times, and one of them was sort of recently. A couple Saturdays ago, I spent the whole day editing a podcast, and I was trying to get it done kind of as early as I could, and I waited to take a shower until I was finished, and by then it was like, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock? But that's the exception, not the rule. I don't generally do anything before I shower in the morning. Number 4, do you go on baby name websites to help you name your characters? I just talked about this 2 weeks ago. I do this all the time. Definitely had a coworker who thought I was about to have a child because they saw that over my shoulder, and that, that's the price you pay, I guess, when you use those websites at the office. This was back before COVID, obviously. I don't have that problem here. Number 5, do you have a list of actors and actresses that would play your characters if there was an adaptation made? With very few exceptions, no. A big part of the reason why I don't is because I write about a lot of young characters and I don't really know a lot of young actors and actresses. I don't know who would play someone who's 14 or 15 in a film or a TV show or whatever. I know who could play them who's in their 20s now, but assuming that they were cast people who actually looked young, I don't know who would be good candidates for any of the characters. I have a couple of ideas of some adult characters, but even then, 1 or 2 maybe. Really, I'm realizing the only times I do have actors in mind are mostly for villains. I have an idea of who could play the villain in the library novel, the first one I was writing on this channel. I was sometimes picturing 1 or 2 actors for the villain of that story because the villain needed to have some sort of movie star charisma. Number 6, have you ever stared at a stranger because they looked like one of your characters? Thankfully, no. I don't think I exactly have mental images in quite that way. I think I picture the characters, and this honestly kind of happens with books I read as well. I can see them, but they don't look like anyone real. And they're just amorphous enough that they never look like anyone real. That's the best way I can describe it. The idea in my head is crystal clear, but malleable enough that nobody matches it. I've never had that moment where someone looks identical to how I picture someone, either that I'm writing or honestly that I'm reading about. Some people look right. I think you can absolutely make the case that there's a character like Gandalf who is so very clearly explained and detailed and was perfectly translated. But when I saw the character reading it, the facial characteristics, the faces weren't a match for anyone real. That's part of why I hate reading something that's already been adapted, that I've already seen the adaptation for, because I can't get those real people out of my mind when I read it. And I don't like that experience. So I kind of have the same feeling when I write. I don't see real people. Do you talk to yourself to help work through scenes? If so, where do you talk to yourself? The shower is a big one. Walking the dogs, Driving when I had a commute, that was a big part of it, was driving in the car. Sometimes, maybe when I'm writing, I'm mouthing along, but ideally when no one's around, hopefully. When I was writing at work, I might go out into the hall and pace and run a scene to myself. When I was working at my old job, I might mutter under my breath at my desk, with people around, as quietly as I could. What's the name of this tag again? Oh yeah, no, all right, I'm fine, okay, yeah. Number 8, while writing, do you make the expressions your characters are making? No, I think that when I write, I have a very serious, stone-faced look. I like to describe myself as having resting, concerned face, because if I'm not thinking about anything in particular, or if I'm focusing on something, I look angry. And mostly, I'm not writing about angry stuff. It's just the way my face is, I guess. But I do this a lot when I'm reading. I match the expressions of the characters, and I sort of just mirror them. And this even happens when I'm reading my own writing. Even if I know what's coming, or remember a scene, I'm still find myself matching the expressions of the characters. But not when I'm drafting. I hope you guys don't hear the dump truck. If you do, oh well. Number 9, do you ever practice answering interview questions in case you make it big? Yeah, I do this a lot. I find myself doing it the most when I see an interview that has some element of a question that I think might apply to me. If I hear someone answer a question, I think, oh, it's interesting. How would I answer that question if I got it? Again, I usually do this when I'm alone. Ish. Number 10, do you have a soundtrack and or playlist for your book or scenes for your book? I don't do this. I know a lot of writers do. I know a lot of my friends who are writers make playlists for their projects. And I think they listen to them so they can kind of get into the mindset of the project. I tend to use existing playlists, especially of instrumental music. So I don't tend to seek out, here are some songs from different artists that I like that match the mood or match the characters, because if I'm going to listen to that, I get distracted by it. Instead, what I'll do is I'll find music that matches the genre. So for example, I'm writing the superhero novel. I'm going to find music that is from superhero movies, or especially superhero video games. I think video game music is really, really good for when you're writing, because video game music doesn't match to existing exact moments. They're meant to play over an indeterminate amount of time. The designers of the game and the writers of the music don't know how long you're going to take to do anything. So the music conveys mood really well, and I really like that. Big ones for me are the PS4 Spider-Man game. I think that music is really good for me. The Avengers game as well has some good music, but the PS4 Spider-Man one is a big one for me. When I try to listen to movie music, I get too distracted by the movie. I can't listen to like the Raimi Spider-Man soundtracks because I only think about the scenes in that movie, which does not help me when I'm writing. Now, the one exception I will say, or I guess 2 exceptions, is there are a couple of scenes in my superhero series, in the later books, where I can picture specific songs occurring in the text, which I know I will have to be coy about if I do that in the book, because I don't know if I can get the rights to those songs exactly. I may have to allude to the lyrics rather than print them. But other than that, no, I don't tend to find specific music for my stories. The final thing to do is tag someone. I am extremely late on this tag, so I am tagging you. If you have not done this tag, or even if you have, but your answers might have changed, hit me up. Let me know in the comments that you've done it, and let's compare. If you like the video, please hit the like button. That's the one shaped like a thumb. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. It's the one that says subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. That way you know exactly when new videos come out as soon as they release. It's the one that looks like a bell. You can find that one. I'm not worried about that one. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, Victoria.